I'm the author of The ABCs of Inclusion and the parent of a special needs child. My son Cooper was born deaf, and he was the inspiration behind writing this book. And today I have with me Veronica Arvidsson and Rachel Goldberg, both parents of special needs children as well. Sometimes kids just are curious about other kids in general, and I tend to forget that. I always assume it's because Cooper has these things on his head that are flashing, but like we were at the playground a couple years ago and there was a little kid just like staring at him. And finally I was like, "Are you wondering what those are?" And he's just like sitting on the ground. He was playing with mulch or something. And she looks at me and she goes, "They're sticks." So she was just totally focused on what he was doing. He had nothing to do with his actual implant.
I can't remember who it was. It was probably one of the kids in the group, but she had her Barbie. And I was like, "Isla, are you going to tell, what does your Barbie have that you have?" And the little girl goes, "I know, blonde hair." I go,
Yes.
Close. Because you don't see that.
No, my good friend's son will be like in the car driving and his mom will say something and he'll be like, "I can't hear you, I don't have my ears on." And he doesn't even have cochlear implants, but he knows that Cooper can't hear when he doesn't have his implants on. And so it's like they really do, and if they were to meet somebody like Cooper, they'd have that to relate back to. One thing I always say is my family has been great in this entire process, amazing, so supportive. But there's something about connecting with people who have walked where you've walked and either are still there or have come out the other side, who have that same lived experience that is so different than just saying, like, "We're here for you." Yeah. Both are equally validating and meaningful, but...
Right. Well, they're in the thick of it, too. They can relate to your experiences as a parent, as parenting a child with disabilities or special needs. They can directly relate without judgment, without giving, "Well, here's what I would do," giving advice that maybe might be unwarranted.
Yeah, obviously having kids in general changes you to an extent or makes you approach things differently, and I think that's even more true when your child does have additional needs. I know for myself, I've become much more go with the flow, and I don't know if that's largely due to Cooper's diagnosis, but also just his personality. Like there is no predicting today being point A. Like one day he would love this, other days he wouldn't.
I have to be flexible. I'm stubborn and I'm inflexible generally. But Sully was such a go by the flow baby. I was like, I could do whatever. It was up to me of, "Oh, we're gonna do this or that or whatever," and he was like, "Got it." Isla is not like that at all. There's no, if you say left, she says right. She's just a lot. And so I've definitely had to learn how to be flexible, be patient, which I still don't think I'm like very patient, but I'm more than I was before. Most people don't know because I am loud, but like I'm an introvert. I don't like making phone calls. And all that stuff, it's like not optional. Mm-hmm. So like the patience that is required for insurance and doctors and scheduling and all that stuff is more than I need for my own kid. It's just exhausting. I've gotten a lot more vocal about stuff like that, where before I'd be like, "You don't talk about politics or religion or money." Mm-hmm. And now that's, religion and money is still the same, but politics, it's like, no, you have to educate people on, well, a lot of people don't know about disability rights. And I remind people, again, I've said it before, where you can become a member of this club very quickly. Mm-hmm. So disability rights are in the interest of everybody.
For me, when Tessa got her diagnosis when she was 1, I went through a lot of different stages of grief, denial, anger, acceptance. Mm-hmm. But even now, I still wonder what her future holds. She'll probably live with us her whole life. Definitely having to get used to a new normal for us. I've had to completely change my personality and who I was. I'm still very much introverted, but I have to advocate for her, specifically insurance companies. Because her syndrome is so rare, we constantly are fighting for her medications, fighting for her occupational, physical therapy, speech, everything. We always have to fight for it. So that has made me be able to do that for her and advocate for her because I have to. But also understanding and compassion for my children, specifically my special needs child.
I think during COVID especially, I realized how much I, as a hearing person, rely on people's facial expressions and their mouths, and like I still, lip read to an extent when I'm just looking at a person. And so having like glass and masks, and it just gave me a different perspective into what Cooper's doing literally every day. I think it's something where it's like, he gets home and he's crabby, he'll be an angel for you, and he'll get home to me and just lose his mind. And it's like, okay, he was at school, he had to listen all day, and for him listening is work. Like just because he acts like it isn't, it's draining. And so I think having to remember those things too, sometimes you just forget because they're your kid.